going on, guys? Alex with 814 EDC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the Ochs Worx Lontra EDX. So this is the second ever Ochs Worx Design knife that I've ever had in. The previous one was, I believe, the Solar Storm EDX, and I remember really liking that knife, and I think this one might be a little bit better for me personally than that knife. This is just a quirky little interesting design, and I have really enjoyed it. This is in via the Lefty passaround group, so shout out to Kev for allowing us to check this out. This got caught up. I think Kevin over at Knife Nerdery had it for quite a while. I think I don't know if he forgot about it, which has happened to all knife nerds before. But I forget how it got kind of caught up and slowed down. That's why it took a while for me to get to check this out, but I need to get my full review done on it so I can get it sent out to the next person. But I'm gonna miss this knife. This thing is really cool. Like I said, it's quirky, it's intriguing, it's interesting. All those kind of descriptive words you could think of, I think applies to this specific knife. Like I said, this is the second rendition or the second, type of design from Eric that I've ever checked out. And both of his designs have been his production models, which are made by Riot. So this is again, Riot made knife, which is very, very cool. I really like that. I'm trying to slide these lamps over. You guys can see, I have a little bit of a different angle going on my, it's a little bit better, I don't know. A little bit of a different angle going on in my room. Typically, because oddly enough, this is a little bit side topic, but my room, or this is the guest room in our apartment. So the guest bedroom and our bedroom doesn't have overhead light or ceiling fans, which is really, really dumb. I don't really understand why they wouldn't have that in 2023. So we have a little desk lamp in here, and I would typically slide my desk over this way because there is a indentation sort of area, a little cubbyhole in the wall with a big window. But I just got tired of pulling the desk over and stuff like that. I just wanted to be able to come in and use the desk where it's at because it's nice because there's a power outlet right here, so I can plug my computer in, plug the lamp in. But I brought another lamp over from my bedroom that we have on my nightstand. We both have a lamp on each nightstand, so brought that over. I'm trying to get a little bit better light. We'll see. This looks a little bit kind of dark right now, so I do apologize about that. You guys can't even probably really tell that this is Purple Haze Fat Carbon. So we'll have to see. I need to get a little bit better lighting or just a brighter light bulb or whatever it may be, but we're gonna keep going with this video as it is. So like I said, these are Riot made knives, and I thought they were all sold out on the website. I will leave a link to Ochs Worx Designs website.com or just ochsworx.com. But I found out when I got on the website to look, they are actually being sold at Knife Center and White Mountain Knives, which is really, really cool. And I think everything is in stock on White Mountain Knives. They have all the Lontra EDX variations, and they also have all of the Solar Storm EDX variations, which is very, very cool because I thought that once this was sold out on a drop, it was done. So I will also leave a link to the White Mountain Knives website down below as well. You can use code Lefty10 or whoever your favorite YouTuber is for 10% off of your purchase, which is really nice when you're talking about a $300 knife. You can save like 30 bucks, which is very, very cool. So before we get into materials, there are 4, I believe, different variations of this knife. This specific one is in the purple haze fat carbon. The other ones are, you have a black twill carbon fiber inlay. You have a Arctic Storm or Arctic Blue fat carbon, which looks really good. You have a plain titanium handle, which is probably my favorite. I love fat carbon, but the plain tie just looks really, really good on this specific model, I think. And then you also have a purple haze. So there's, 4 different variations. And I think the full titanium might be my favorite, but I do really like purple haze as well. So that's the 4 different variations. Jumping into materials, you guys can see that this is a titanium bodied knife. Has some really cool milling up here, kind of in the bolster area. The light's tripping me up. In this, it looks kind of bronzed, but in the normal lighting, it's purple. So you have purple pivot, purple hardware, a milled titanium pocket clip that is lefty carry. You guys can see there is a filler tab right there. The inlay is seamless. You cannot feel it at all, which is very, very nice. Inlay over here. is a frame lock with the same milling right there. Titanium backspacer with a place for a lanyard if you so choose to have one. For deployment, we're talking about a front flipper as well as dual thumb studs, with the thumb studs being kind of placed farther down on the knife than what I'm used to. So this took a little bit of time to kind of get used to how to manipulate it and fidget with it. But once I got down with how low you put your thumb, this has a very snappy detent, which we'll again touch on with action. But this has I'm gonna call it a spear point style blade with a nice swedge up there, kind of a little poon area with some jimping. Very nice, generous forward finger choil. Of course, the blade is M390 with a satin grind. There is Ochs Worx Design. Ochs Worx EDX, my apologies. As for internal milling, there is no internal milling on either side. So some specs on this knife, thinking about weight and whatnot, makes me want to give you guys some specs. So blade length is 2.95 inches, so under 3 inches on the blade length. Overall length is 6.68 inches. Closed length is 3.74. The weight is just over 3 ounces, so even though there's no internal milling going on, it's still very, very lightweight. And this is a very small knife. I mean, I've kind of been on a small knife kick recently, but it basically fits in the palm, within my fist, in the palm of my hand. So with a knife that's under 7 inches total, around 3 ounces is very, very fair, especially when you're getting nice pieces of titanium with carbon fiber inlays, or fat carbon inlays, excuse me. I think that's a very adequate weight. No complaints at all with that. It's on bearings, of course, and those are kind of the specs that I can think of, the main ones. But one thing I did want to touch on here is with the M390, this is technically a two-tone satin finish, so you have different sort of finishing on the blade than you do on the flats up here, which is kind of cool. You guys can sort of tell that just by the way the light is reflecting off of this knife. Has a ceramic detent, lock insert, which is hardened stainless. This is a limited run, which is why I thought they were all sold out. But like I said, they are in stock on White Mountain Knives and Knife Center as well. So that is all for materials. Next, we're going to talk about action. And like I stated already, the thumb studs is a little bit odd placement. It's pretty much not halfway down on the knife, but it's pretty dang close. Most thumb studs are up here by the pivot or just below it. But these are definitely probably the lowest thumb studs I've ever handled in my life. And then of course you have the front flipper up here with jimping all the way up. So you just basically have to kind of adjust the way you hold this knife is the best way that I've kind of handled it. You just drop down, find it with your thumb, and it bangs right out of there. You guys can hear it. Has a pretty snappy detent. And most Riot made knives are, come with a very nice detent. Riot's kind of known for making a snappy, very satisfying detent. And once you learn how to hold this and flick it, you guys will not be disappointed. Middle finger flick, bangs right out of there. The middle finger flick wasn't as hard to sort of relearn as opposed to the thumb stud with the, dropping down and making it sort of fit your hand a little bit different, where your middle finger just, I feel like it's easier to kind of use the same grip you always use, but just drop it down a little bit more and it fires right out of there. Very, very snappy, very nice thumb stud. You can slow roll it out, but it is a frame lock, so you might have a little bit of an issue with that. But once you get used to it and you learn how this knife feels, you can very well do it over and over again. Now with the front flipper, it's not the best front flipper I've ever handled before. It's not bad by any means, but I just would prefer it to have maybe another step of, half an inch of real estate, just to kind of get enough, you have enough purchase there, but I've had plenty of times where my thumb kind of lands up top here and I just kind of like jab my thumb with it, because it is a little sharp. It's not gonna like cut you or anything like that, but if you put your thumb on it and miss, as I just did miss, but if you put your thumb on it and kind of misfire, you're definitely gonna feel it, and it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. However, it's, like I said, it's not bad. Stupid gnats flying around. It's not bad, you just have to get used to it, which is kind of, in my opinion, something you have to with every front flipper, because every front flipper is a little bit different, a little bit, you have to find the right sort of detent point in my opinion. But this, you kind of just land right here, as I miss it, but it is not prone to, you know, you're able to fail it once in a while. Like you're never not gonna fail it, but it's very snappy, has a nice acoustic to it, fires right out of there. But in my opinion, you definitely don't want to do this over and over again because it will eat the corner of your thumb up, which is just something I've found out the hard way. But you know, you can mix it in, excuse me, you can mix it in with, you know, the thumb flicks, the middle finger flicks, so on and so forth, to, you know, get sort of that full extent of the fidget factor of this knife. Got my Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream, 0 sugar. Been honest, ever since I came out, I've just been hooked on it. It's so good. If you guys have not yet tried it, definitely go try it. So yeah, closing action with the flipper, or excuse me, with the frame lock. Drops to your nail once it's closed. Drops to your nail once it's closed. I feel like my phone moved a little bit. Maybe not, I don't know. Need to upgrade my stupid tripod, but here I am using like a $15 tripod that I bought when I started the channel. So yeah, but very smooth. Drops down, a couple shakes and it's closed, or drops down, 1 shake and it's closed. It's definitely not a guillotine, but it's very smooth with the bearings that's in there, and it's definitely very nice to fidget with and nice to, you know, repeatedly flick and drop and do all the fun things with. So action is very good on the Lontra EDX. Next up, we're going to talk about ergos. And to me, I think ergos is maybe my favorite part about this knife because it just fits my hands so well. I really enjoy how comfortable this knife is. Now, it's not a big knife. Like I said, it's sub 7 inches, and it's a very interesting design, but it's also very simple at the same time. So up top here, you have pretty much a, you know, it has curvature to it, but it's nicely rounded and contoured. Kind of a straight line, you know, not a straight line, but very close to a straight line. Down here, you have pretty much a straight line as well with a little bit of curvature, and it's just rounded off on the back. You do have a forward finger choil, which is very nice. We're gonna get there in a second. Without choking up, I can still get 4 fingers on the knife pretty easily. You know, I'm not really like crammed on there, but I'm a little squished, but it's still very comfortable. The pot clip is a milled titanium pot clip that sits very close to the knife, so it's not gonna really cause hot spots at all. It's very, you know, minimalistic and nice in hand. Can I feel it? Yes, but barely. Like it's very comfortable. The jimping up top here is very nice, kind of a poon area. But the real star of the show with this knife is the forward finger choil. So middle finger goes right here, kind of the natural restriction point. The rest of the fingers follow suit. And then my pointer finger wraps around. My thumb finds itself in that poon area, and I am ready to go to work, whether it's, you know, doing push cuts with cardboard, whether it's cutting around things, you know, up close and personal, where you have to be very delicate and detail oriented. This is locked in, you know, very nicely. You do have texturing on the sort of bolster area, but you really don't feel it that much. You can kind of get a little bit of feeling underneath this area of your finger, but on this side, my middle finger barely hits it. I figured that might involve, you know, the texture, or the texturing might sort of not hinder, but, you know, affect the, I can't think today, affect the ergos. But, you know, honestly, it doesn't affect it at all. It's just, you know, it's kind of just a visual thing, I guess, in my opinion. But this is very comfortable. It's very small. It's very lightweight, which is very nice and comfortable either way. You know, I wouldn't really go into a 7-Eleven to fight Kevin over a Slurpee on a Saturday night, but, you know, you could if you wanted to. But saber grip's very nice. Hammer grip is very nice. Like I said, all of the edges are rounded and contoured. No sharp, you know, things that are going to snag on you or cut anything like that. So to me, this is probably one of the better ergonomic knives I've handled in a while. It just, as soon as I picked it up, as soon as I unboxed it, I was like, man, this thing is super comfortable and I really enjoy it. Just melts into my hand, and it's ready to go to work. So that, combined with a nice thin edge, thin blade stock, overall very happy with the ergos on the Lontra EDX. Next up, we're going to talk about carry, and this also carries very good. Again, it's around 3 ounces. Closed, it is 3.74, so sub 4 inches and around 3 ounces. Has the sort of recipe for being a very nice carrying pocket knife, and this definitely does. The pocket clip is a little bit tight. I was not a huge fan of that. It definitely needs a little bit loosened, or just, it has a lot of spring tension. It's kind of hard to pop over pockets and stuff like that, but not the end of the world. Now with this being a milled titanium pot clip, it's not going to go super deep in your pocket as a loop over style deep carry clip would. However, you can probably get about that much into your pocket, which for me is enough. As I've stated before in a lot of different videos, I have come around to milled titanium clips. They don't bother me as much as they used to. Again, would I prefer to have a a loop over style clip that went super deep in your pocket? Absolutely. But I can definitely, appreciate the aesthetic that milled titanium clips provide, and they do provide a pretty nice carry on, most scenarios and most knives. So you get about that much taken out of your pocket. Nothing to be, afraid of or anything like that, but it sits in your pocket. You have no jimping. You do have a little bit of texturing on the backspacer, but it's not really, it's barely sharp enough to kind of catch your finger. So you go down past your knife to get change, coins, medicine, whatever it may be, you're not going to be at risk of pulling your knife up out of your pocket and popping it out and losing it, or banging it up, whatever it may be. So it carries very well. I carried this in gym shorts quite a bit around the house, and doing errands and stuff like that. It was really, really nice in that application. And yeah, nothing really, just a very simple knife, very lightweight, great size, good pocket clip, just equals a very good carry. So not really much to discuss more than that. So we're gonna move on to price point and what I recommend this knife. So price point on the Lontra EDX on White Mountain knives, this specific version goes for $320. Now you can use someone's code, like I said, Lefty 10 to get 10% off, which I think would be $32 off. So you could get this for like $290, which is, or $280, 90. Yeah, like $290, which is very nice. You can get the plain Jane for $280, which is also, I think that's a really good deal, because then you can get 10% off of that, which is $28, and that would drop that down to like $255 or something like that. That's a steal of a deal. And like I said, they're all in stock, so definitely go check it out down below. But I think, for the price you're paying for this, I think it's also cheaper than what you paid from Ochs Worx website. Now these were a pre-order. I don't know what the pre-order price was. I'm assuming it was probably around $300, because on the website, the Purple Haze Fat Carbon went for $350, and every other Fat Carbon went for $350, but the full tie went for $310. I think, yeah, $310. I guess I can look on the website. So it seems like prices have come down a little bit and settled a little bit, which is very nice. And again, the fact that they're available is very, very cool, because that's not something you can say often with kind of boutique brand, knives like this. Like I couldn't go to White Mountain Knives and buy a Devo knife just any other, any day of the week. So it's cool that the availability is there for this knife. And I think that goes into making this knife more appeasing and more appealable to people, because I really like this knife. I think it's great. I think it's worth $320, and if you can get it on White Mountain Knives and save some money, I think it's, if you can get this under $300, if you get the titanium version, if you can get it for like $250, steal of a deal. I think that's a very good price, especially when you're considering it's Riot made. Now I know other OEMs like Bestech, Kubi, QSP, stuff like that, or companies like that, have all become very, very good at what they do, and they produce very, very high quality knives. But I think Riot is still the king of the OEM world in China, as for right now. Might not be the case in the future, but for right now, I think they have it locked up, and their products are just very good, very high quality, very good fit and finish. I have no complaints about this knife. I think if you like the design, and if you are looking for a small, maybe 5th pocket carry knife that has very good ergos and that has a very, nice materials, high quality, I don't think you can go wrong with this knife. I really don't. I think it's fantastic. I have enjoyed it a lot. I'm really gonna miss this knife, and in the future, I might have to keep an eye on White Mountain Knives, because I think they, if they keep these things in stock, I might have to pull the trigger on one and add one back to the collection, because like I said, I'm gonna miss this when it's gone, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's a great design. It's quirky, it's interesting, and it seems like it's basically right up Eric Ochs design language. Like it's good. It really is. I've enjoyed it. I think you guys are gonna enjoy it, and yeah. So I'm gonna wrap this up now. But this was my full review of the Eric Ochs Worx, or Ochs Worx Design Lontra EDX. Huge shout out to Kevin over at Lefty DC for letting me check out this for letting us check this out. Always appreciate you, Kev, and I always appreciate you guys. So leave a comment down below. What are your guys' thoughts on the Lontra EDX? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you in the middle about it? Let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But I'm going to wrap it up. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your morning, evening, night, whenever you're watching this, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.